So in this slide, I will talk a little bit about the AI and how you can use to learn computer science and specifically the field of software engineering. So first, maybe you listened before that the AI can replace a software engineer and can generate code few minutes or maybe less. So a lot of people say this, but the reality of software engineering is not to just write the code, but there is something called system design. So how we can design system. There is something called how we can design the feature before we want to implement and start code. Uh, the also how we can optimize the performance of the system, how we can write clean and secure code, not just generate code. So what is the code review? So who's want to review the code to check if uh, there is the best practice to write clean code, there is no issue security or the code open for some vulnerability. Uh, so all this is for the software engineer, and we I forgot to add the debugging. So how to find the bugs fast and why this uh, bugs happen. So this what the software engineering do. So generating the code is easy, but how we can build, for example, a scalable system with high performance with no issue on the productions. So here uh, come the role of the software engineer. Now, if you start to learn computer science at the university or maybe self-taught, and specifically you want to go with software engineering field, you can use AI to fast learn and exact what you need. So first, don't ask the AI teach me to learn C++ or Rust programming, but ask him for specific topics. For example, first, before you should to have an objective or goals, what you want to learn on the software engineering. For example, I want to learn back end, I want to learn uh, front end, I want to learn DevOps. Okay, I want to learn another topics of computer science like data science. I want to learn, for example, machine learning. So first, before you want to learn from the AI or make an AI as an assistant to you to learn computer science topics, try to first define and select your goals. For example, you have a lot of field. You have machine learning, you have DevOps, you have cloud, you have the cybersecurity, and in cybersecurity, the fields itself, there is subfield. For example, you have the security analyst, you have the security engineering, you have the malware development. Uh, so there is field and the subfield. Okay, so first try to select the your goal. For example, in this life, we, for example, make the back end on the software engineer. I want to be the back end engineer. I want to be someone who make the back end infrastructure to make the engineering infrastructure of the system. So we select our goals. Okay. Now, what is the second? The second, we want to ask AI or any LLMs generate the roadmap for this uh, specific fields that we want to learn or practice. So if you start with the back end, ask him to generate a roadmap that allow you to learn and what the most topics or what the most important topics you should to learn for the back end, starting from the computer architecture, the basic operating system concept for the back-end development should to know, also the basic of the networking, so you know what is the difference between the HTTP and the HTTPS, what is DNS, what is the server itself, the component of the server, what is the data. So what is the difference between protocols like TCP and UDP? So the AI can generate all the topics you should to learn for the specific field that you want. For example, here the backend. Okay. Now, after you you get the roadmap, so on each topics, try to ask AI or recommended some course for you, or you go by yourself to, for example, if the AI start with the networking and start to know what is network, what is the data, how the data transfer about the network, what is the difference between HTTP and HTTP secure. So you go and try to learn on YouTube or any free courses, or maybe if you want to go to the paid system or paid courses like Coursera or Udemy, that's really great. So after you learn the course that generated by AI, ask AI that to uh, let you what the most project you start, because on the project there is a level, different level. There is project for the beginner, there is project for intermediate level, and the advanced level. So ask AI to generate an idea of the project based on your level. So if you just start the back end, currently you are on the beginner level, so you just start with a small project. Okay, so ask AI to generate the code, sorry, generate the idea title. Okay, generate the what is the component of the project, how you can build the project. You build the mentality to build the project. For example, when you start to work as back-end developer, there is a step to build the back-end engineering infrastructure. Like, for example, design the requirement. So there is functional requirement and non-functional requirement. After you go to the database design, uh, after you go to design your RESTful API endpoint, uh, and you start to define your different entities and different actor and different attribute. So, and you start to build the feature, for example, the authentication feature, uh, the current features. So this how you can use the AI. So I want to see the comment. Hello, yes sir. So I want to complete in this area to how we can use the AI with efficient way to learn and grow, not just generate the code and you build project that you don't know the what the project exact do. So if someone asks you to explain this piece of code, you don't have the answer, because you you generate the code without you know what you do, or the code itself you don't know what to do. So now after you build the project, ask the AI to make code review of your project, because you can build the project, you can build uh, something that work, uh, even you make on the production uh, area. Like for example, if you start make the web application, you push to the server, and that everyone can access your system. But you should to know about if your code is matched with the best practice and there is no vulnerability or security issue. So here you can go with the AI as code review. So ask AI, my code is matched with the best practice, what I miss. Even your code works, okay? So even your code works. You can ask AI as mentor for you. Also, when you feel yourself you're comfortable with the beginner level, you can go for the intermediate level. Now here you can talk with the AI as someone you already have the information, okay? You already have some basics, and you want to up your level, you want to upgrade your skills. So the level of intermediate is different and completely than the beginner level. So The AI can generate new topics for you. For example, we can we can keep on the same topics. For example, the backend engineering. So on the intermediate level, you start, for example, how to make a strong and secure authentication system. You want to know how your optimize your query database. On some topics like rate limiting, and something like how you can uh, write uh, clean code, respect the solid principles. So these principles you should to respect if you start to make clean code. So you ask AI for the current level you want to learn. So this for the AI. I think also for the language programming, or like talk with AI on specific topics. If you start from the beginning and you want to learn, try to like uh, try to ask AI on specific topics. For example, you want to learn some language programming for the backend. Don't ask AI, I want to learn backend. No, if you have comfortable with some language programming, okay, so ask AI with this language programming. For example, before about Python or Golang or even JavaScript. So ask AI, I want to learn the backend using JavaScript. So the AI can generate a roadmap based on JavaScript or the Golang or whatever the language programming you support. So there is no comment here. Hi, sorry, I don't understand here. What you don't understand? So, also, there is some key prompt you can ask AI. On the first conversation, you can specify the AI as mentor for you, and specifically on your field. For example, you start learn programming, you start learn back-end engineering. Ask AI, so make yourself as a senior or staff engineer back-end, and I want to learn back-end with Python. So generate for me the roadmap on specific time that you are comfortable. For example, 3 months or 6 months or 4 months or whatever, with a specific time that you can finish, and the AI can generate the roadmap based on your time and also your availability on the day. For example, you are to learn and practice uh, 2 hours in the day. Some, for example, some student or someone can like study more than 4 hours. So try to generate the roadmap based on your availability and the time you want to finish, for example. So this what you can exact send to AI. So I'm here to open for any question relating to the topics of AI. So if there's any question, also what I forget is when you complete any topics, you can start make quiz with the AI. So, for example, you finish programming, the concept of the programming, so how to write code. You can go to the AI and ask him, give me quiz or quick test to like check if I'm learning well or not, or the concept I understand well or not. So the AI can generate tests based on what you learn, and this really important. So the AI can allow you to learn fast with what you need to learn. okay, and also uh, like go with you step by step, okay. So and the for example here the idea of the project. So you start by the beginner project, after you go to the intermediate, after you finish with the advanced. So also the project generating idea, the project itself. For example, for the back end engineering, you can work on the e-commerce system. You can work on the for the intermediate level for something like booking system, and for the advanced, you can go with the different architecture of the project, like microservices or monolithic architecture. You know about other information, you know about okay. So the AI allow you to learn fast topics that you just need. So this is how AI be efficient to allow the computer science student or anyone who want to learn any topics on the computer science field. So if someone had question, I'm open to answer it. There is no question related with the programming, computer science, or software engineering. Also, I forget to that the AI can also generate the documentation of your project. So, because when you finish the project, you should to make documentation that allow other people or other engineering to understand what on your project, what the feature you make, uh, how you can run or start the project. So without ask you, so the AI allow you to how you can write professional documentation of your project. Okay, and also when you have good level, for example as backend engineer, and you want to test yourself. For example, when you see some feature on a system and you want to apply on your project. For example, you make an e-commerce system, and you just saw that on some e-commerce system there is review features that you can after place an order and purchase, you can place a review, make a review with comment. So you want to implement this feature on your project, so that you already made an e-commerce system. So here also you can ask the AI how I can uh, make review for review features on my e-commerce system. So this also method allow you to understand and know exact how the features built. So I think I should too quick for this live. So I just open to talk a little bit how we can use AI to learn fast with the efficient way, programming or any fields on the computer science topics. So if there is no any question, also for example when I said that you can learn specific topics and what you need for your field, and here like large topics like operating system, networking. When you want to learn about network is a large field, but I want to ask AI to learn the concept that I need for the just back-end developer. I'm not network engineer, I'm not security engineer, I'm back-end engineer. like some topics that I don't need on the network. So I want to ask an AI to generate roadmap on the network modules. As backend developer concept, like I should to know, and that helped me on the work. Okay, so you can also on the for example the operating system, what is the most concept I should to learn on the operating system as back-end developer that really helped me and understand uh, what happened behind scenes. Okay, so and on each module you can specify what you need. Okay, so also for the other fields, for example, if you want to learn machine learning, you can ask AI what you need in the linear algebra, what you need in the probability, in the statistic, and also on the programming with Python. So, like you can set generate a roadmap to learn Python as machine learning engineer. So there is completely different uh, with someone want to be Python developer. So this is most important information I share with you. I think I will quick right now. So I hope this live maybe know you how you can use the AI and what is the right and the efficient way to use the AI. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.